All right.
Welcome to the quad. Welcome to the quad.
What's up, you guys? This is the Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris. We got Haley the Bear.
That's me.
Producer Josh.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
And Ryan from Miami.
Why is it this cold in November?
Buddy,
It's called
you ain't seen nothing
Dude,
yet.
this is awful.
Okay, in Ryan's defense, it normally hasn't stayed this cold for this long.
It was 19 degrees this morning. 19.
It's fantastic.
It normally it jumps back and forth. It's consistently staying cold right now, and you're right. I dislike it.
I love it. I think it's great.
I'm comfortable as hell.
There's so many things to talk about today. As always, if you have never listened to or watched the Quad, just know that you can go to where, Ryan, on YouTube?
Oh, it is easy. YouTube.com/@thequadwithcy is how you go and rate, subscribe, review, comment, and share it with your friends.
Also, the Instagram is back up.
Yes, it is.
Our IG is at
The Quad Podcast.
and what is the Twitter?
The Quad with CY. All the ats that you can handle on this Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen.
All of them. You got them all. So who won the poll? That's the big question.
Oh, that poll that was done on Twitter this week, right? That is the big question of who won that poll. And it was an interesting poll because it had to do with Thanksgiving turkey. By the way, Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving
Happy holidays
week.
to everybody
Thanksgiving,
here.
everybody.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
Thanksgiving to you guys,
I
everyone
hope you
listening.
eat all of the food this week.
Yes. So we asked you on our Twitter poll, what's the best way to cook a turkey? And overwhelmingly, with 66.8% of the vote, baked turkey is the winner. Followed by smoked, which I actually was stunningly
Kinda
surprised by. Yeah.
I figured fried would be next.
Well, here's the thing. I believe that it's become tradition, right? It's like why people put up a Christmas tree at Christmas. Ryan, who already has his up.
It's Christmas season.
It's not Christmas season yet.
Joy to the world. I already played your album once already. It hasn't even been Christmas yet. Christmas album's already been played.
Yeah.
Under the weather, baby. Let's go.
If you did not know that I have a Christmas album, go check it out. It must be Christmas. And it's almost time. I'm almost there. Couple
The
more
day
days.
after Thanksgiving is when I decorate. I will not be home the day after Thanksgiving, but I will be decorating that Sunday.
Yeah, couple more days. And look, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. There's so much that all of us have to be thankful for, even when you're not having a great year, and especially this year, at least for me. I'm so thankful, so grateful, and very, very appreciative. But I think it's the tradition aspect of it. I think that's why everybody went baked.
For sure. Yeah, the
Which
smoked,
sounds weird.
but smoked and fried is that's in the last 20 years. We're talking about a lot.
I found a curious poll, too, and this was one that was done nationally, that more people actually liked Thanksgiving sides than they did the Thanksgiving turkey or ham, which I'd be interested to see.
I also say
What you
that
all think?
turkey is actually really difficult to cook correctly.
It is.
I think most people are used to having very dry turkey.
You ain't
And
ever tried
so
my turkey.
I think,
You
well,
ain't never tried my...
that's not my point. My point being, I think most people don't know how to cook it. It is not it's like having good brisket. You can make brisket, fine. But making really good brisket, it
tough.
takes time and depth of flavor and making sure that you don't dry out the meat. And I think that goes double for turkey. And I think a lot of people deep down would tell you if you made them a turkey and a chicken, that they'd probably eat the chicken before they'd eat the turkey, just because it's a larger bird. It's harder to keep I'm going to say the word. Some people don't like this word. Moist. It's harder to keep it moist. It just is.
And moist.
Succulent chunks.
Juicy. Oh, it's so nice.
No chunkies, please.
There's so many life hacks to keeping it moist. If you flip the bird over, breast side down.
Well, you can spatchcock it.
You can spatchcock it as well.
Like.
Yeah.
I like that term.
Have you ever
just use a
spatchcocked a
baster.
turkey?
It's when you cut it in the middle and you split it.
Yeah. You basically cut the spine out of the bird and then lay it flat so that it all
So
cooks
it's like 2D.
evenly.
It's like a 2D bird.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's still
I
3D.
just baste
Spatchcock.
it like every 30 minutes, and it comes out to be the best.
Is the
thing
stuffing in the
world.
center? Does that dry it out? Is that a
I don't put
I don't
stuffing
put
in my
stuffing
turkey.
in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
a lot of people
cook,
do.
I cook my stuffing separately. And that's just me. That's not
Which
everybody.
is also an argument, which is if it's not in the turkey, it's called dressing. If it's in the turkey, it's called stuffing.
It's the same thing.
It's stuffing.
It's stuffing.
Oh, I'm so excited for Thanksgiving food now. This makes me so hungry.
And my mom's birthday is right before Thanksgiving. So happy birthday, Mom. And
Thanksgiving football, family.
let's jump to music though. Let's go there first.
Music.
I only say that because we get a lot of football to get to and a lot to talk about sports wise. But I know a lot of people jump on this podcast. Again, if this is your first time here, I feel like I haven't said this in a while. The reason we call it the Quad, there's 4 of us. There's 4 subjects. It's always music, movies, sports, and a hot take. So with music being the operative starting point this week, the reason I want to do that is twofold. One, I absolutely want to just let you guys know that I've been getting some of the board roughs back from the studio session, and I am overjoyed about how they've come out. So definitely going to be hearing more and more teases. If you don't follow me, it's Chris Young Music on everything. That is my only account. I do not have backup accounts. They all have a check mark. They're all verified. But Twitter, IG, TikTok, especially, you're going to see stuff there constantly. So make sure you go give it a follow. And I will keep playing new stuff for you guys because I am so pumped about this new music. And very, very happy about how that session came out. You never know when you try to do a full day if you're going to like everything that you get that day, or like maybe one's like, oh, that one's just okay. I like every single thing we did. I'm really, really happy. And they all kind of hit different points for the record. So very pumped, getting to the point where we're starting to close out, round out the year. Got a cool thing coming up soon where I am going to be jumping on stage with someone else. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it there. We'll talk about it after I do it. And got some more radio dates. But outside of that, it's a bunch of studio work, a bunch of writing, and just enjoying all of that. Now, all that to be said, we had Austin Machado's wedding this weekend.
Yes.
And had like 7 of his friends go down and just hang out. His wedding was fantastic. Him and his new wife, Jess. Just amazing. It was absolutely beautiful. So much fun to be a part of that. And big shout out to him because they are so dang cute together. Like, I know that sounds weird to say that as a dude about somebody else. If you hear
But they
coughing,
are.
that's Josh.
Sorry.
He's got a little cold going on.
It's going around.
Just dealing with a little chest situation.
Yep.
Also, not only did we get to go to this wedding and see the amazingness that happened between them getting married, but we also got to see Austin sing a song for Jess, which is currently on my story. He's upset because he was emotional and his voice cracked, but that's kind of like the beauty behind it, right?
I'm sorry. I thought it.
That's awesome.
I thought it was cool. Like he definitely cried. We're like, you're gonna cry. He goes, I'm not gonna cry. He cried.
He cried.
Yeah, 100%.
He
He
cried.
blubbered because if you know Austin, he is in a very not sensitive, but like he
No, he
feels
is.
his emotions.
Hey, nothing wrong with sensitive
Yeah,
dudes,
he's
you
a
know?
sweet
He's a
dude.
sensitive
He
dude.
I love
feels
him.
his emotions.
He
Let's
gives
put
great.
it that way.
He gives great hugs.
And not only that, Chris got to sing a song that
They
Josh also
requested
co-wrote.
Today We're Dancing,
Yep.
so I got to play that, which I one have not really played since you and I wrote it.
Yeah.
And I had to hit Josh up on a plane and be like, hey, man, I can chart this out, but do you have the chords off the top of your head? He goes, funny enough, I'm bored. I'm on a plane. I'll do it.
Yep. It killed 20 minutes, which is great.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Also, when I was playing it, I get to almost to the end, And the top of that song is "Tonight we're dancing barefoot in the kitchen," and she wasn't wearing any shoes. She kicked her shoes off so she could dance to that one with
that's
him,
cool.
which was really cool.
That's awesome.
And then at
Is
the
that
very
what she
end,
was doing?
yeah,
I did. Okay, I saw in the
Yeah,
video
yeah.
that she kind of like leaned back, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What is she doing?" I
That
did
was
not
why.
see the whole like foot kick off.
She took her
she
shoes
kick off.
off
That's
and was
really
dancing
cool.
barefoot in the wedding dress, which was awesome. But then towards the end of the video, if you guys go over to TikTok and check it out, again at Chris Young Music, but the DJ goes, I'm at the end of the song, and he goes, "Everybody get out there. We want to see y'all dance with the bride and groom." And like the dance floor just like filled up. And I'm
like,
like, well, I
it
guess
was
I'm
flooded
playing
with
another
people.
chorus.
Yeah.
So here we go. But it was really cool. And then I sang Famous Friends with him. So me and Austin sang that together. And then our buddy Ty Graham got up and played a song as well. So that was all before the DJ started. Like
Yeah.
it was
a lot happened before the dancing even started.
Yeah. There was a lot going on.
Good times.
It's really fun.
Congratulations, Jess and Austin. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys. Now, for what are you listening to? Do we want to keep this not Christmas yet still?
No,
It's
not
the
Christmas.
last week. This is the last
Christmas.
week.
You,
I like it.
You haven't put up your tree yet. How can you go Christmas songs?
Well, because I don't put up my tree until after Thanksgiving because I'm not a monster.
All right, so I can lead off with what are you listening to? One of my favorite festivals, Tortuga, announced their headliners last week. Shania Twain's actually going to be a headliner. I haven't seen Shania Twain since my first ever concert.
Wow.
Shania
Let's go, girls.
was she performed in South Florida, and she was doing one of those concerts where they're filming a video for it, right? Or filming a video series for it. So she did multiple songs over and over and over again. And it was my first ever concert. I went with my mom, but this song has always been one of my longtime Shania favorites from this moment on. Love the
yeah.
way she sings that. It's just a fantastic song.
Well,
so
she's not the only one on that song.
correct. Also on that song is Brian White,
There you go.
in addition to Shania Twain. But
Leave
love that
Brian
song.
White out. Come on, man.
My boy.
Come on.
Can't leave Brian out.
Great song.
I was in Dallas, Texas this week.
Got to see Luca in person too. We'll talk.
Nice.
I did not get to see Luca
Oh.
in person. It's the one game he sat.
Oh, dude.
We'll talk about that in a
Adam
second.
Silver.
Oh.
But shout out to the mix station in Dallas, 102.9. It's like all heaters, just the entire, all day, every day, just all the best songs. And one of those songs was Pink, Raise Your Glass, which I hadn't heard in a long time. And I love that song.
I got a random one. I had my phone just on shuffle, like through my entire catalog of music, like whether it's just everything in my library. So whether I own it or whether I've saved it. And Feelin' Fine California by Christian Bush. That is, if you don't know who I'm talking about, that was one of the guys that was half of the Sugarland duo with Jennifer Nettles. And yes, I know they were originally a trio, but for all intents and purposes, most of their career was as a duo. So Christian's a great dude. And that song came on, and I was just like, man, I forget how much I like this song. I was like, I got to bring that up for what are you listening to this week? That'll be fun.
Love that.
Bear?
For my song this week, it is a song I just learned about literally maybe yesterday, but I immediately loved it. And it's actually from the Wakanda soundtrack, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and it's Rihanna, Born Again. And as I'm listening to it, I'm like, because I have not seen it yet, I was like, this had to be the song where they're paying respect to Chadwick Boseman. Was I wrong?
You are wrong.
What is it? Oh, damn it. But from the sounds, it's about someone dying, so I was like, oh.
I mean, you're
That's a really cool song.
you're wrong. It's on the credits. That's
Yeah.
that's when the song goes.
Okay. It might
So it is.
essentially
It's
be
probably just a send up for
Yeah.
the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful song, and I was like, what is this? Oh, okay. I love it. It is a great song by Rihanna. So.
Well, and it was, if I remember reading this correctly, it's her first song back in a long time, and that Ryan Coogler, the director of Wakanda Forever, like asked her, like, please, we need a song from you. We need you. We need you. And she finally gave in and did this song.
It is so good.
All right. Sidebar. That song is fantastic. I'm not laughing about that. you breathing right now.
Oh,
I can
bro,
actually
it's
hear
awful.
from the
yeah,
mic.
no, it's so bad.
Like I've been there before too. We've all been there where we're like powering
so
through and
bad.
our voice isn't all the way there. But I can just hear you taking
There's-
breaths in.
There's no power. It's just all.
Oh man! All right, let's go to sports.
Sports.
All right, win of the week. It's got to be South
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
Holy crap!
After putting up 6 points a week earlier against Florida, they hang 63 on Tennessee to basically end their season. Also, Hendon Hooker out with an ACL tear for the rest of the
Yes.
year. So hopefully he gets healthy and he's going to declare for the NFL draft. But
Well, as he should.
Holy cocks, man.
You've been waiting for that.
Oh man! It just Florida loses to Vandy.
Hey, Vandy's actually better this year. Like, I'll give
Okay.
Florida kind of stinks, but Vandy's actually a little bit better.
Okay,
this year.
Florida showed promise at the very, 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 very beginning of the year, and then we fell apart per usual, so it's fine. At least we didn't throw a shoe this time and ruin everything.
Yeah,
Probably would have
that's
been.
true.
You probably would have had more yards if you threw a shoe.
Oh, that was uncalled for. Texas, so much for Kansas being back.
Who could have predicted this?
You did?
55-14. Just beat the crap out of them.
But it was a fun story, like in the beginning of the year. You know?
Yeah, man.
They
Like,
ain't seen that in a while. It's good to have a little.
it's not. It's
a little
nice to
ember
have
in your coal.
something. Yeah, just a little bit of like
Something to build off of for
them
next
not
year.
going over for the season, which
Yeah.
they, I mean,
They've done.
it was nice. It was nice. It's nice to see that. How K-State do?
No idea. I think they won.
I think they did too, but I didn't
Ewok.
know off the top of my head.
Emaw. Every man a wild
Ewok.
Emaw.
Emaw.
You can just type in
Football.
K-State.
Yeah.
It'll
Big
pull up
fan.
there,
Big
right?
fan. Big Wildcat fan over here, you know?
They beat West Virginia 48-31.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice win.
All right, let's skip past my team. We'll go right into all the other
Oh, now you don't want to
we don't
talk
want to
about
talk
UCF?
about no.
the other games.
No?
Oh, what happened,
The
Ryan?
undefeated champs?
What happened, Ryan?
You know, I'm going to say this, and I love our country. Okay, I just want to preface it with this.
Whoa.
I love our country.
Why are we starting
I
there?
love our service members. But Navy, you could go yourself, okay? Every single time we play Navy, that goddamn triple option, nobody can stop it. They rush for like 700 freaking yards. You know what's coming. You can't stop it. What the hell? Again, salute to our servicemen and women. I do love you guys. Thank you so much. But Navy, so glad I'm not going to have to play you anymore next year.
That's that was aggressive. We'll go quick to our fantasy football standings now, because I actually put up the most points in the league this
Yes, you
week.
did.
Almost 170. Thank you, Travis Kelce. for
3
the,
touchdowns. Hell
the-
yeah.
The hat trick.
Dude.
And per what everyone likes to say, Haley's team falls apart towards the end.
Yeah.
I'm
Which,
still
by the way,
probably going to win.
I just remember 2 weeks ago where you were crowing about having the best record in the league, and now you, me, and I believe no,
I'm beating
it's just
Stacey.
you and me. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Gotcha.
Appreciate that. So you're beating Stacy. M10 and Bears team, unless
Nope. He
Hopkins
started.
and Kittle both just score no points, which is not going to happen. She wins. Bass looks like you're going to beat Stone.
Yep.
Because he's got
Very
two
low-scoring
players-
affair between us this week.
He's got 2 players on a bye that
Yeah.
are still in his lineup.
Yeah. And I've got Christian McCaffrey left and the 49ers defense.
Yeah. He also
I have
left.
officially lost 4 players this season to season-ending injuries.
Injury.
Ooh,
Injuries.
that's the word.
And
Which, by the way, outside of that, can I talk about the fact that he left Pollard and Cooper on his bench, which
Oof.
would have been like 60 points?
Oof.
You play to win the game, you know?
And then Austin Machado not only wins the marriage game, but he wins his matchup this week. So
This is a pretty, I will say, like, we are, what, 12 weeks into the season? I forget how many weeks we are into now.
pretty far.
11.
11? Pretty competitive league we've got this year. Like, there's a lot of parity in our league.
Yeah,
Each
I
week,
mean-
top teams are going down. The standing, this is going to be a nice race to the finish to see
Well,
who makes the
and
playoffs.
Ryan, in our division, I'm still ahead by like 2 or 3 wins.
You have 2 games ahead.
I'm going to have the best record in the league next week. I'm just
Are you?
pointing that out.
Who are
Yeah.
you playing against?
Yeah.
By
I
the
don't
way,
know. No, I mean after this week, I will
we-
have the best
I
record.
think Chris and I play it
No,
next
we'll
week.
be tied.
No, you're not winning.
We'll have the same exact record.
No, because you have to go by points for. I have the most
I will
points
also say
for
this.
in the entire league.
Let me give you the
so if you
percentage.
split hairs, I am first overall in the league.
The percentage chance to make the playoffs per ESPN for our league. Chris has the highest percentage at 97% to make the playoffs. Number 2 would be Stacey O'Neill at 92%, followed by
He's about to
Bear.
lose to me.
Followed by Bear at 84%. Josh is at 58%, and I am coming up the rear at 35%.
Oh no,
Oh no.
that's not the way to say that. Oh God, NBA. Let's talk about this, Josh.
The one game Luka Doncic sits is the one game that I have tickets to go see, which was unbelievably frustrating. That being said, the Dallas Mavericks are still really cool. Really interesting thing happened last night in the Dallas Mavericks game. Right before halftime, Luka hits a 3,
I saw this.
and both teams leave the court and they review the shot, and it turns out he stepped out of bounds, which left 2 seconds on the clock. So they had to bring both the teams back from the locker room to replay these last 2 seconds. It was 55-51. Dallas Mavericks were up. So basket didn't count. Teams had to come back, replay these last 2 seconds. Denver ball. Denver inbounds it. They hit a half-court 3 to go into halftime. It's never happened in...
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to come back and replay the 2 seconds, and in that 2 seconds, Denver hit a half-court shot to...
Who won the game?
Denver did, with no Jokic or Murray. Pretty
It's
crazy.
impressive. It's
Pretty
impressive.
crazy.
I am so confused by this early season for the NFL. Or NBA, excuse me. It is so weird. Like, how are the Utah Jazz 12-6 when they basically had a fire sale this offseason?
They have, Lauri Markkanen is part of the reason. Lauri Markkanen is balling out. It's a lot of, it's Will Hardy, the coach. He used to be on the Boston Celtics. He was a assistant and moved over to head coach this year. He's a great coach. The team is just filled with, it's like that Detroit Pistons team. I know the breathing.
It sounds
I know.
like a vacuum.
It reminds me of the 05 Pistons. It's a team full of no superstars, but they all play super hard and super well.
If the playoffs were to start today, the Golden State Warriors would be out.
Correct.
The Miami Heat would be out. The
Correct.
Chicago Bulls would be out. The Lakers, obviously, would be out. The Sacramento Kings would be the 5th seed in the West.
Yes, they would.
It's not going to happen.
and-
guys.
it's going to
not
happen.
gonna
And in the
happen.
5th seed in the East would be the Indiana Pacers. What the heck is going on
It's
in
not-
the NBA
guys,
right now?
Guys,
It's
it's
preseason.
early.
No, it's regular season,
It's
but it's
early.
so early.
The Sacramento
I
Kings are going to make
consider
the
it
playoffs.
preseason.
We haven't even-
considering.
You nailed that, by the way.
I did.
You
They're-
nailed that.
I'm telling you, they're not going to make the playoffs.
The Kings?
No, they're not going to make the playoffs.
So the
Every
Kings-
year that they have started where they are in seed 5, they proceed to collapse. And I treat it much like I've told you guys, I treat the Chargers. I will believe it when I see it. I am not trying to poop on anybody's team. I love Sacramento. I love LA. I love San Diego, where they used to be, and they should still be, in my opinion. The Chargers, by the way, for anybody that thinks I just made up 3 cities that the Kings have played in. But, until you show me you can do it after that long of a drought, I don't believe it.
This is the year.
Sacramento ranks 2nd in offensive efficiency, 2nd in scoring, 6th in three-point percentage. They are really good this year.
Through 18 games.
They are really good this year, and they've really improved. So I'm interested to see whose prediction, Josh's or yours, will come to fruition.
You just threw a bunch of stats, but they're sitting in the 5th seed.
They
right?
are. For a team, don't they have the longest playoff drought?
Yes.
In the
Yes.
In North American sports, I believe. Now
Yes.
the Mariners.
Yes.
We
Correct.
made that
Yeah.
whole point. That was why we started talking about it to begin with.
Yeah.
Let's go to the NFL. You want to talk about the Dolphins?
Oh yeah, I mean, bye week, still in first place. Great.
Yeah.
I love it.
They didn't lose.
By the way, I am going up to Buffalo for the December 18th Dolphins-Bills game, which will likely be for the division.
Oh, yeah, that's big. That's big.
I also don't believe I'm going to make it out without frostbite is what I was going for, or freezing to death. So it's going to be really cold.
It's going to be really, really cold. Yeah. Just, I mean, they had to move a game already. You might not be going to Buffalo.
They had
you might
77 inches of snow.
It's 6 feet of snow.
77 inches.
Oh, my God. It was crazy. They had 6 feet of snow in the stadium.
Bills Mafia, by the way, had to dig players out of their homes to get them to the plane to get to Detroit, which is pretty cool.
That's
shout
crazy.
out to them.
Yeah, hey, shout out to fans being fans like that.
By the way,
that's the kind of fans you want to see.
If the playoffs were to start today, every team from the AFC East would be in. There's an argument to be made that is the best division in football. Every team in the AFC East would be in.
No.
Right now, every team would be in.
Yeah, but
Jets, Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, all would be in the playoffs right now.
The Bills also just lost to the Vikings.
They did, but they won yesterday against the Browns. So they're tied.
The Browns.
They're tied at 7-3, 7-3,
argument.
and then 6-4. The Jets and the Patriots.
You want to talk about the Bears?
Yeah, I really want to go back to that episode when we were doing our preseason picks, and I said I think the Bears might win 4 games. Right now, I'm one too many. We're stuck at 3-8 now. Is that what it is? 3-8. Yeah, anyways, Justin Fields got carted off at the end. Everyone's like, this is their time. He's really showing. No, we don't have a damn team. I don't know how many times I have to say this. We don't have a team. We don't bring home the win. Guess what? Doesn't matter how well you play. Did you win? I guess so, but whatever.
That's a great quote. I love that.
You want to talk about KC?
It's a hell of a game last night.
MVP,
Patrick
Mahomes.
looked a little off.
What are you
night.
talking about?
Compared to what?
I mean, well, we'll get there. But
Y'all were behind the whole game.
He didn't look as sharp as he has, but he was sharp when he needed to be. And towards the end of the game, they really started rolling. Obviously, I referenced Travis Kelce having a hat trick. So,
yeah, I mean, we were missing 2 of our receivers. We were using Sky Moore was getting a lot of catches. So like Patrick was, he was trying to make it happen, but we play the Chargers hard every year, and last night was no different.
How deflated. Do you think Justin Herbert stays up at night with nightmares of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce? I'd imagine so.
Probably.
Because he's just owned them ever since he's come into the league.
Probably.
Patrick Mahomes never lost an AFC West game on the road.
It's impressive.
He is
but
also,
again, you say he owned them, but they didn't. They were ahead almost the entire game until the
he
very
has
end.
owned them. He has owned them over the course of his career.
Yeah.
Not in yesterday's game. He has owned
Yesterday
them
wasn't a
over the course
blowout.
of his-
But let's talk about blowouts before Ryan tries to get stats in here.
I was trying to throw in a really good Mahomes stat.
Well, that's cool, but I know you, and I know you'll try to jump all over some stats that I have before I get to my game, and I'm sorry, I am
'Cause you had the
so
win of the week?
hype right now.
Because you had the win of the week.
No, the win of the week was definitely
South Carolina.
That was
a
beating
close
Tennessee.
second, though.
That was that was more important, especially when it comes to college football. That knocked them out of the playoff for sure. Now, what I want to say is we are now back in second place in the division, right behind the Eagles, because the Giants lost, and then we play them on Thursday. So that's a very important game. That being said, the Cowboys beat the Vikings 40-3. Largest road win in team history. 88% completion percentage, third best in team history, with Dak having 276 yards, 2 TDs, and no turnovers. The defense sacked Kirk Cousins 7 times. My lucky number 7. The most he has ever been sacked in any game. Zeke and Pollard both get 2 touchdowns apiece. And if that wasn't enough, our kicker, Maher, goes 4 for 4 with a 60-yarder dead center.
Twice.
Yeah, they made him redo it.
You realize your division is going to eat this division alive in the playoffs, right? Like, there's, like, the Vikings are a facade. Like, they have a -2 point differential, the lowest in NFL history for any team to start 8-2 or better through 10 games. I mean, you guys beat the brakes off of them. It wasn't even close.
And again, you talk about Mahomes and the Chiefs beating the Chargers. Everybody's like, and even me, like, how do we lose to the Packers and then come back and just shellac the Vikings like that? nothing is equal any given Sunday, blah, 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 all the things. But the Packers just have always had our number. I really hope the Vikings win out in their division.
Also, looking at the Eagles, they have struggled the last couple weeks. They almost didn't win yesterday.
They won by 1 point.
Yeah, they got a touchdown in under 2 in the last 2 minutes.
A win is a win. You are correct, but that should not have been that close.
It should not have been at all.
And they also,
Against
by the way,
Colts.
I don't wish this upon anybody, especially because these are people and human beings we're talking about, not just football players. But the Eagles have not had a single injury problem with any of their main players yet. And we're getting later into the season where it gets colder and they play up in Philly.
They also have the best offensive and defensive line this year. And if any of those guys goes down, that risks their...
I don't know about that.
Statistically speaking, from Pro Football Focus, they have the best offensive and defensive line this year.
Pro Football Focus is very interesting with their statistics, and you and I both know that.
They can, we can...
They fudge a little.
They can make things
Well, I do think the Eagles are a problem.
They are
They are going to be a problem for not just teams in my division, but everybody.
They are a problem, but again, they are slowly starting to show their faults as we get further into the season. They're playing crappier teams, and they're falling further and further back. They are.
A couple more takeaways from your division. Is Detroit good? Or are the Giants bad? That was such a surprising blowout loss yesterday.
Okay, here's my problem. We lose to the Packers. We come back, beat the crap out of Minnesota. The Giants lose. Micah Parsons is a little dinged up. He's not hurt. He's not going to be out. And we pulled him early from the game after he had just a monster first 3 quarters. But we need him at 100% on that defense. And we need to beat the Giants. And the Giants are in our division, and they are going to play us with everything they've got. They just lost, went back to third, even though we have the same record, because we have the tiebreaker. This is a very, very important game on Thursday.
But to reference your Lions, I think the Lions just get lucky and have good games because they haven't showed anything to show consistency throughout the entire season. They beat us the week prior, where the Bears were 3 and whatever, and now we're 3 and 8. It doesn't matter. We do not matter. The game between us where we lost by 1 or however many points it was, and then they beat the brakes off of the team this week. I don't think the Lions are good by any means. I just think they're just getting lucky with games.
I think the Lions are actually good. The Lions, before losing DeAndre Swift week 5, were averaging 35 points a game. That offense is good. The defense is not good. But they can score points, and they're finally getting people back and healthy. So it's not surprising. In fact, they play the Bills next week.
But what's the point of winning? Because they're not going to get anywhere.
Because you can build on wins, I have a feeling there might be an upset with the Bills next week.
Really?
We're going to hold you to that?
Look,
mark this in your calendars?
I told you all year long, Detroit is better than their record shows. They have played teams way better than their record shows.
Well, and it also, it speaks to what he just alluded to. You lose Swift, who's such a huge part of what they do.
And it unlocked Jamal Williams, which was great.
Which is cool.
And now they have 2 running backs like Dallas does. So now they have a tandem, which is really great. But now they're refiguring out how to do the offense, and it's starting to click again. Does it mean they're a great team? No. They're not going to go to the playoffs. They're not going to do anything. But
didn't they lose Hawkinson too?
They traded him.
Yeah, they traded him. Also, what I really liked, and again, obviously big win for Dallas. That's not going to happen most weeks in the NFL. So I'm going to celebrate it while I can. Ezekiel Elliott had 2 big, heavy running back, goal line formation, punch it in, touchdowns. Tony Pollard had the better average per run. And then also they were using him and sneaking him outside to be a wide receiver. It was such a great usage of those 2 guys. I just want to say, if we have the chance to get OBJ, I want him.
Why have they not made that move yet?
Because he's trying out with the Giants and the Cowboys.
But after these last week, I have a feeling he should probably lean towards the Cowboys.
He should, but
Can you imagine what that
offers him
means
more?
for CeeDee Lamb too?
How does Thursday go? That's what's
Because
important.
he said to wait till after Thanksgiving, which essentially is kind of actually very smart.
It'll be Friday. He'll make a decision Friday. 'Cause
Yep.
Then they have 10 days to.
He'll know.
Tony Pollard has turned into like the Austin Eckler for the Dallas Cowboys, and he is such a game changer.
sure.
It's
He's incredible.
what a draft pick that was out of Memphis, by the way, to get him. And,
He's incredible.
and work him in with Zeke.
I love it. All right. Do you want to say anything about the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, the World Cup obviously started on Sunday. Today, which is Monday, where we're recording this, the U.S. plays Wales in their opening round matchup. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this World Cup in Qatar. 2 days before the tournament, they decide not to have beer sales for regular fans, by the way. Premium fans, they can drink all they want.
Is it Qatar or Qatar?
Qatar. Qatar is how you pronounce the host nation.
Okay.
But
Because I've heard it said both ways. And I've heard like people actively try to correct each other.
Yeah, Qatar is how you would, Qatari officials is how you would kind of say their government
Right.
officials there. It's just, this is such a World Cup surrounded by controversy. Now, the U.S. does get it in 2026, so it is coming to the U.S. in 4 years. However, U.S. was in line to get this World Cup 12 years ago, and then somebody pulled a rabbit out of a hat in Qatar got it. But
Yeah.
there's been a lot of controversy surrounding it, human rights issues, obviously thousands of deaths while they were trying to get the country ready for the World Cup stage. We are here now. We are watching teams and countries compete for what is the world's biggest sporting event. 5 billion people, by the way, will watch the World Cup. That is 24 times who watches the Super Bowl. Just gives you an idea of how the world rallies around this sport.
Well, again, that's a misleading statistic because I would argue by percentage of the world.
There's many more people would have access to the World Cup than they would.
I was going to say.
Super Bowl. But, 204 million to 5 billion still. But I'm interested. Do you guys support, care, want to watch the World Cup? Obviously, the U.S. plays today. There's a watch party down on some of the bars we love to go down to. I'm be interested to see what the U.S. does. They're not favorites. They're
Honestly, I
plus
don't watch
13,000.
soccer.
I watched the last time I sat down and like literally was invested in the U.S. men's team in the World Cup was when Landon Donovan was playing. Like that's how long it's been because I know we aren't very good.
We're better. We're deeper. We're younger, but we are the second youngest team in the World Cup.
We're not
Stage.
very good.
Plus
Relative to the rest of the world, Ryan, we aren't very good.
Plus 13,000 on
So,
DraftKings. If you
yeah.
want the value.
I will absolutely watch some matches, like for sure. And I'll get into it as it gets to the end. I kind of treat it like March Madness a little bit. Like I pay attention, but then I'll really dig in at the end and watch.
You're an out of the
whatever.
group stage kind of guy. I like it.
Yeah.
Like the
Once we
round of
get out of
32.
there.
I like it. Yeah.
That's more my thing.
I can't get into it. I did a couple times in high school when I had to cheer for it, which was really awkward, by the way. Yeah,
How do you cheer for?
Yeah,
not,
you know
not the
what?
World Cup. She's talking about just actual soccer.
Oh,
at
soccer.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
got
yeah.
it.
Not very.
It took me a
easy.
second too.
was like,
huh?
No, yeah, not
Yeah.
very easy. But in general, I've just never been a soccer fan. That's no shame to soccer at all.
Which is football. Just say football.
Football?
I mean, I personally think one of the best chants in American sports, period, is the I believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win. Yeah, I
believe
love that.
we will win.
I just wish we would.
I was about to nail the dismount, and you did, sir. Well done.
All right, let's go to movies. Movies. So it's just me breaking this one down, huh?
Yep.
You're probably not going to go see this, are you?
I am going to go see this.
Okay. So
I want to go see it. It's just I don't know how you found time
You
in the
want-
last 3 days, but
you want me to keep it spoiler free then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
give me like an overview of it.
All right, so 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie is The Menu, 2022, rated R, horror comedy, which the comedy part, not really. 1 hour, 47 minutes. 84% of Google users like this movie, so it's critically acclaimed, and most people liked it if you're going to look for this thing. So the film focuses on a young couple who visit... Wow. Someone didn't spell check. It says who visits.
Visits.
Wait, is that not right?
Well, I was skipping the names of like a couple other things in there, so maybe this is correct. Excuse me. The film focuses on a young couple who visits an exclusive destination restaurant on a remote island where the acclaimed chef has prepared a lavish tasting menu along with some shocking surprise. The action follows one particular A-list couple that takes part. This is like not the normal review that we have. It's like listing things from Deadline quotes and stuff like that. Anyway, that tells you enough. Basically, this group of people go to this island to experience this amazing chef and his restaurant, which is very secluded and very mysterious. Kind of as the movie goes on, to keep from giving spoilers, there's several parts that like stuck out to me that I thought were really smart. And they treat it like a full course menu. And you've got everyone from there's an actor, there is, one person that's random in the group that wasn't supposed to be there, and that's one of the things they key on. They were like, "Why are you here?" Because they invited very specific people, but the guy that they invited at the last minute invites someone else, and so the chef is very confused, and he's very eccentric, and like you get dark, like horror Gordon Ramsay vibes off of the show. That's the only way I know how to describe
What are you,
it.
an idiot sandwich?
Yeah, exactly. But obviously this movie is very much horror and gets very, very dark the further along you get into the movie. Definitely rated R. But I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting take on how to treat, we now have so many chefs. I mean, the fact that I could pick a chef that I said his name and you all knew who I was talking about immediately. Ooh. And there's so many shows on like Food Network and the Cooking Network, like all that stuff. And I watch a lot of that.
I like this game. Let's name our favorite chefs. Go. Mm-hmm. Bobby Flay.
My mother.
Bobby
My
Flay.
mother. I like that. Bobby Flay's a good one.
Yeah. Well, you're laughing at me. Bobby Flay's the master, bro. He's the OG.
He's on so many shows at this point.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
What's your favorite chef? Come on.
David Chang.
Oh, okay, that's good.
This one guy on Instagram I follow.
Salt Bay.
Salt Bay. Man, you know what? If I had to pick one at random, so are we talking about like high-end culinary cuisine, or are we talking about competition speed?
I would say well-known chefs, and you can take it from there in whatever category
I'd
you
go
want.
Gordon Ramsay. I like Gordon.
All right. Good restaurants.
If you wanted to say competition, like you give them a very, very short amount of time to do something, I actually would probably go, and you're going to laugh, but Guy Fieri. Because that guy can take a very small amount of ingredients and go, all right, I'm going to flip this like immediately.
Is
he
it
has
Fieri
it off the top of his head.
or Fieri?
However you want to say
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Well, however he would like us to say it, because it's his name, not mine.
Anyways, back to the movie.
Yeah, the movie, there's one part that you will, and this is a like tiny, tiny spoiler, so I don't think you can. Okay, you can hit the button.
That was a tiny
There are one of the courses, and so they do it with like, placards that are like, this is the first course, this is the second course, this is the third, and they're describing them. And obviously the chef's like really eccentric, and you kind of don't know what's going on at first, and then it gets, weirder and weirder as the movie goes on, and you'll see that. And the ending is interesting. But there's one course where they use tortillas, and so I was listing the people that are in there, and then we got pulled off track on saying favorite chefs. There's like 3 like tech bros that are there, and then that's the best way I know how to describe them. It's described that way in a lot of the descriptions of the movie, and it's true. Like I said, there's an actor, there's someone that's a critic, a food critic. So it's like all these different people from, society that want to go eat at the nicest place ever, and are very like hypercritical and focus on things that are really different and wildly different. And that becomes important later in the film. But they bring out tortillas, and they all have something on the tortillas that have to do with things that these people have done in their everyday life that people wouldn't normally know.
Interesting.
And it's this moment is just like a real creep factor. You're like, what is going on? And you'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. Anybody that has watched it, I thought that was a really cool way to twist that part of the film. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
It's good. I enjoyed it.
So next week, The Good Chef, or
I thought it was Glass Onion.
I thought it was The Good Nurse that you
The
were
Good Nurse, that's what it is,
to
The Good Nurse,
say,
not The
which,
Good
by
Chef.
the way, Ryan, I already
Ryan is-
watched it, and you're right, it is a great film. I did not realize it was on a true story.
yes,
But also, no, we already said The Onion because it's only in theaters for a week.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Knives Out Glass Onion.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
it's only in theaters a week, but then it goes to streaming right after. So it's not like we have to go see it in the theaters, but
I want to go see that in theaters.
The Good Nurse.
The Good Nurse is good, Ryan.
Well-
It is a very. You have to be particular to this kind of movie though, because it is drawn out.
I also want to say you have tried to bring this movie up every week, and you have not one time gotten the name of it right.
The Good Chef, I thought was a really good movie, but The Good Nurse is better. Trust me.
All right, Glass Onion, which is in theaters for 1 week, a Knives Out mystery. It's Thanksgiving. You're gonna have time with family. You're gonna have the weekend. Go see this.
It's time to solve a mystery with Benoit Blanc.
With The Good Nurse.
Oh, all right. So that's the movie for next week.
No transition needed.
I know. Everybody knew where we were going.
Chemistry.
I'm very
So-
passionate about this hot take.
I need to explain this hot take. Okay, this is a yes or no. There are only two answers to this, because if we go into I put some of them in and then some of them not, and you'll understand what I'm talking about in a second. It's going to get really confusing really fast. It's going to be split up way too much. So we talked about condiments a couple weeks ago. All right. And I realized something that mayo excluded, because mayo has to go in the fridge.
But it doesn't always.
Yes, it does.
I can name a few of our favorite restaurants that do not put it in the fridge.
Please tell me off air so I don't eat there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like mayo anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, neither do I.
Touche.
Excluding that, do you put your condiments, your ketchup, your mustard, your hot sauce, what have you, in the fridge?
Yes.
Or do you leave them out?
Every condiment I own goes in the fridge. My Frank's, my ketchup, my mustard, my salad dressings, everything goes in my fridge.
Put olive oil in your fridge?
No. I don't consider that a condiment. I consider that a cooking thing.
Cooking oil.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not putting my hot sauce in the fridge. You don't have to put your mustard in the fridge.
Nope, I want it all in the fridge. It's all I've grown up with it always in the fridge, and I will always put it in the fridge.
No.
I only put a couple in the fridge. Some split, but so no, I don't put them all in the fridge.
No.
Yes, they all go in the fridge. They
no, they
last so
don't.
much longer. Even when you look at the things, it's like ketchup only lasts 2 months outside of the fridge.
But it lasts 2 months outside of the fridge.
Okay, but it lasts way longer in the fridge.
Should it?
That's a good question.
Well, for someone who
even better
lives by
question.
themselves and doesn't use condiments that often, yeah.
Was that directed at me?
No, I think she was saying her.
You should always practice safe cooking and use your condiments.
Ryan. Okay. I hate that I laughed. Dang it! Yes. Got him. So you're a yes. All
Yes,
condiments
all
in the fridge.
condiments in the
I'm a
fridge.
no. Not all condiments in the fridge. Josh.
I'm a no, not all.
No, not only am I a no, I don't put any condiments in the fridge. I don't want any of my condiments to have a cool texture to them when I'm putting them on my hot dog or on my eggs. No, I don't want that. I want it to be room temperature because that's what I want when I put it on my food. Room temperature condiments. Book it.
Okay, so when you're sitting there doing the fire breathing, this is so hot, at least there's a cool condiment on top to help cool the burn.
But that's weird.
That's not weird.
No, it messes with your taste buds.
No, it doesn't.
Again, this came up because we were talking about the whole like condiments thing, and I was still preaching from, the top of my soapbox about mustard, and I was like, you can put it in the fridge. I don't normally. I do sometimes, but no, I'm a no for putting my condiments in the fridge.
No, they all go in the fridge.
No, they
Nope.
do not.
They go
Yes,
above
they
your
do.
stove.
They
All the condiments go above your
yeah,
stove.
there it is.
That's where they belong.
It weirds me out when I show up to these places and they have their caddies that they just put aside at the end of the night that has ketchup, mustard, mayo.
Well, again, the mayo
hot
one is
sauce.
an outlier, okay? We're not
Again, you
gonna
say that,
talk
but
about that.
more than 80% of the restaurants here in Nashville do not refrigerate their mayo.
They probably have one of the kinds that doesn't have like an egg in it, though.
So, hot take is: do condiments belong in the fridge?
Do condiments belong in the
Yes,
fridge?
they do.
Yes or no?
They do. I'm sorry.
No.
Yes.
It's a no.
You
It's a no
open
for me.
someone's fridge and you find their ketchup, you find their mustard, you find their hot sauce.
You just said that countrier than I've ever heard you say anything. You
Literally.
find their ketchup. You
Ketchup.
find their mustard.
You find their hot sauce.
Ketchup, mustard.
My feeling is if major restaurants do not refrigerate them, why would I?
Because they don't have enough refrigeration space.
They have massive walk-in
Yes, they do.
fridges. Are you
for
serious right
working
now?
for working in the industry, there's not enough room in those fridges. I promise you that.
Thank you guys so much for listening to The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I'm Chris from Haley, Josh, and Ryan. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. We'll see you next week. We love you. Vote on the poll. And